Oh yeah, seat dance for your mid-out. What up, everybody? TGIF. Yes, indeed. You already know what time it is. Everybody seat dance for a minute. Hey, get low now. Get low now. Yeah. Okay, bring it up now. Bring it up now. Bring it up now. Bring it up. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to the hottest podcast across the land, the hottest podcast across the globe, and definitely the hottest podcast on YouTube, point blank, period. You already know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mixture of Variety. Please give it up one time. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I did not hear everybody. I know there's more people in the audience. Please give it up one time. Mixture of Variety Entertainment. That stands for MOVE. That is the acronym. We know we're steady moving forward and never backwards in 2022 and beyond, baby. Yes, indeed. Big shouts to Nikki P. She can't make it tonight, but we're going to run down the show. We got a show for you today that's going to blow your fucking mind. I'm telling you right now. Happy Earth Day, by the way. It is, we are going to be talking about Earth Day, but we like to keep the show balanced over here at Mixture of Variety, so we're going to tip the scale a little bit and then tip the scale back this way, and you'll know what I mean in a second when we get into it. We're going to talk about good stuff happening in the world, bad stuff happening in the world, and we're going to make them all coincide together. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for spending your Friday evening with us. It is Friday, April 22nd, 2022, and we're here. We did it again. We're almost through April. Can you believe it? We have this show and one more show, and then April is complete. Big shouts to Jungle Justin. Jungle Justin is going to be on next week's show. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff, a variety of stuff, if you will. Get it? Mixture of Variety. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. You know, I always like shooting the shit with him, so he's a real cool dude, and enjoy him being on the show, being a guest. So he's going to be back on the show next week. And then the week after that, which is May 6th, Nikki P is going to be back, and we're going to be having a hysterical, entertaining, really fun and light show just to, you know, have a distraction from everything that's going on in the world, because there's a lot of pain and agony and stress and chaos and anxiety and everything else that's going on in the world. We like to keep you distracted, and that's why we do this podcast. You know, a lot of the podcast shows that we do are informative. A lot of them are educational even. But at the same time, we keep it more entertaining, light, and fun, so we don't get a strike, or we get banned, or we get a email from YouTube saying, no, you can't say this, which is a bunch of bullshit, and YouTube knows it. And we try to, you know, move around it. We try to move around it anyway, and we just do it anyway. And we try to keep it more entertaining when we can. We walk up to the line, or we walk up to the cliff, but we don't jump. We walk up to the line and we don't cross over it. That's what we're trying to do. So, you know, even if us and YouTube are going to be like this, button heads for the next couple years, then so be it, because we are close, ladies and gentlemen. We are close. Big shouts to everybody that's been following us on IG, at Mixture of Variety on IG, at Mixture of Variety. That way you can always find out information about the show, and you can find out what we're talking about on the show. But big shouts to all the subscribers on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. God damn. Oh, yes, indeed. Please keep the subscribers coming. We love you to death. This show is nothing without you guys, and we have been building this, you know, mini empire from the ground up, and the foundation is you guys. So now that we have 930 subscribers, maybe after the show we'll have a little bit more, and then who knows? You know, it's looking like May. We can have 1,000 subscribers, and then we can have our 4,000 watch hours, and we can finally, after a year and a half, start monetizing this bitch. Yes, indeed. The studio audience is doing that. Big shouts to the studio audience with me every week as well. Studio audience is doing a damn thing. Studio audience, give yourself a round of applause. Oh! Woo! God damn, that's what I like to hear. God damn, that's what I like to hear. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, once again, I go by the name of Patient Zero. I say we get this party started. We do talk about a lot of things. If you're just joining us for the first time and you just see what is written under there, you're going to know what we're talking about today. It's Earth Day. And like I said, we're going to, you know, It's a patient. I called it the Patient Zero remix on Earth Day because we're going to be talking about the good and the bad. And like I said, I like to try to keep that balance. And we're going to do just that. But if you don't know what that is about, or you're just hopping on this, because you heard about it from somebody else, or you're checking this out for the first time, or you happen to click on a link on IG or Twitter or something like that. By the way, we are on Twitter too. We just started up on Twitter. Big shouts to you guys as well for starting to follow us on Twitter. I'm not going to be posting like I do on IG. On IG, I post a lot. On Twitter, I'm not going to do that. That might change if Elon Musk actually buys Twitter. Then I actually might go balls to the wall and start, doing what I want, saying what I want, posting what I want on Twitter. But for right now, because that's not happening, I got a name anyway, or we got a name, and that name is @TheFutureOfPods. Okay, @TheFutureOfPods. Since we are the future of podcasts, we put the odd in podcasts. Come get lost in the mixture of variety. If you don't know, Google us. Ladies and gentlemen, we talk about everything from mental health and addictions, having sex with gay, midget, aliens. I got one of the midget alien heads right here. Which means we talk about a huge, broad variety of topics and everything in between. Everything in between can be relationships and sex and conspiracy theories and talking about aliens and talking about mindfulness. You know what? Before we even start the show, or we go even further, let's take a slow, deep mindfulness breath. Okay? When you hear this mindfulness bell that I'm about to hit, everybody just stop for a second. Remember where your feet are currently planted, and remember that this moment is all we have. All right, when you hear the bell, take a slow, deep breath. Here we go. Doesn't that feel amazing? It really helps me, focus all my energy onto the show to get started, and hopefully it helps you guys to alleviate any tension, anxiety, or stress or bullshit from your work week, from the week in general. If you had issues with family, significant other, jobs, finances, whatever it is. So much stress and bullshit in the world. So much chaos on the news. Don't watch the news, ladies and gentlemen. Don't watch the mainstream media. So much confusion and scare tactics and everything else that's going on in the world. I just want you to sit here and get a distraction from your everyday life. So hopefully that was a distraction as well. Everybody needs a slow, deep breath. You can just do it anytime throughout the day and enjoy your day even more once you do that, because you'll be relaxed, calm, and you will alleviate any tension and anxiety. Those mindfulness shows that we do are available on YouTube. You can just go to youtube.com/C/mixture of variety entertainment. One more time for the people in the back, that's youtube.com/C/mixture of variety entertainment. Or you can just go to YouTube and type in Mixture of Variety Podcast or Mixture of Variety or Mixture of Variety Entertainment. A bunch of things will pop up. As long as you have Mixture of Variety in there, our channel will pop up. And you'll see that it truly is a variety show. When people ask me at work or people ask me wherever, what's your podcast about? We talk about anything and everything, and we love it like that. We're going to stay like that. We're going to stick to our guns because that is what's working best. I never wanted to do a show just on one topic. And we're doing the exact opposite. We're talking about a broad spectrum of topics, if you will. So you can go to those sites. You can go to YouTube, type Mixture of Variety. You can see that we have 20 episodes on season 1, 20 episodes on season 2, and tonight is season 3, episode 12. That means we're more than halfway done with this season. And like I said, we have some really amazing shows lined up, like always. And we're going to start getting this shit popping with monetizing and everything else that comes with it. But regardless, we do this. It's our favorite hobby. We love to do it. It's a lot of fun. You guys love that we do it, and we're going to continue to do it. So that's the bottom line. The disclaimer is, if you get hypersensitive or get butt hurt easy, this podcast is definitely not for you, bro. Sick and twisted dark humor, vulgar uncensored language, and politically incorrect conversations are just some of the things and fun you'll hear on Mixture of Variety, which means, what does that mean? Listener discretion is definitely advised. Well, that actually scared me for a second. I was going to introduce Granny, but, I had to wake her up because she was kind of like drifting off. Granny is the third co-host of the show. Besides Nikki P, my co-host, who does the show with me. Granny is the third co-host of the show, and we love her to death. And she is just an untamed beast. She does her own thing. She gets arrested all the time from the nursing home. She's 101 years old. She does all the drugs and then comes into the studio audience and then just sits there like nothing ever happened. She's gang tatted head to toe. She brings this 3-foot dildo to the show all the time. She's just a hot mess. But either way, we do love her, and we do also, realize that she's getting really up there in age, ladies and gentlemen, and it's really hard for her to do the show. But if you want to find out more about Granny, please follow her on Instagram. Somehow she figured out her own Instagram. I don't understand how that happened, but it did. And you can follow her there. It's at Granny Dildo. She made her name herself, at Granny Dildo on Instagram, if you want to find out what's going on.
What did you say?
Oh, there she is. See, she finally woke up. I was wondering what was going on with that.
Where's my glasses?
Yeah, what's up, Granny? I'm over here, Granny.
I can't hear you.
All right, well, we already introduced you.
What?
We already
What?
We already.
What?
All right, well, we already introduced her. Anyway, that's Granny. Ladies and gentlemen, when Nikki P is here, we usually do it with the mini holidays, but we're not going to do the mini holidays. We're going to jump right into the topic of discussion tonight, which happens to be, drum roll, please, Earth Day, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Earth Day to everybody. Earth Day, you guys might know, what it's about. A lot of people want to save the environment. A lot of, a hot talking point on the news, and a lot of places has been climate change, weather change. The planet's getting hotter. The planet is getting hotter. I think they said over the last 10 years or so that it's been an increase by 1.5 degrees, which in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't sound like that much, but I guess it is. If it's 10 years, because just imagine, in 100 years, like in another 100 years from now. But who knows, right? Who knows where that's going? But there's a lot of talk about climate change, a lot of talk about, recycling and taking public transportation when you can, and driving certain cars, like electric cars and stuff like that, which are obviously they're trying to push right now for different reasons because of the Green New Deal and everything else like that. That's supposed to, take away the emissions by 2050 or something like that. But I think they can't just raise the gas prices and just expect everybody to buy $50,000, $60,000 cars just because they're electric or just because they're good for the environment. But at the same time, I think that I know what they're doing. You know what I mean? I think I know what the plan is. And that's a whole podcast by itself, because that's something that really when I get into, some people will put on their tinfoil hats. I just say it's facts and it's reality. And, what's the difference between a conspiracy theory and reality? About 6 to 8 months so it actually becomes true. I just saved those shows for the audio show. And yes, we do have an audio show. I forgot to mention, we are on Spotify. We are on Apple. We are on Google, Amazon, Breaker. I mean, you can find us everywhere, but our main place that we're at and the main place that I promote our shit is Spotify. So if you really want to hear what's going on and you want to hear Patient Zero, your boy, going wild, crazy, out of control, just speaking facts. A lot of it is my opinion on top of the facts, but it's a lot of facts that people don't want to get out. And a lot of people, on social media, you can't even talk about it or your account will get deleted because they don't want the truth out. And all these things. So even me talking like that on YouTube, I get nervous that I don't want to cross that line. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is we do have an audio show as well. If you want to really, dive down the rabbit hole, let's just put it that way. If you want to dive down the rabbit hole and really go exploring with me, definitely check us out on Spotify. Search under podcasts on Spotify and search Mixture of Variety. Sometimes we still do a live show on castbox.fm. You can catch us there too, Monday and Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's like hit or miss though. But the recorded shows on Spotify, absolutely, you can catch them. Like there's like 3 or 4 new episodes a week. 3 episodes a week on Spotify. You can check us out there. And big shouts to Spotify too, because we started doing the audio show and that kind of branched us into the YouTube show. A lot of people don't realize that, that we had a base and a following before we even started the YouTube show, and a lot of people went to YouTube. So that's just what it is. Little FYI for you this fine evening on this Friday. So what we can do to celebrate, a lot of people think when they say Earth Day or whatever is, plant a tree, do all these things that I already mentioned. Okay, I mean, I guess you can do stuff like that. That's really good. I think that's something that if you really cared about the planet like that and you really wanted to make a significant difference, it won't just be just one day anyway where you're doing that. If you really wanted to cultivate a garden or plant trees every week, somewhere on the weekend, or even 1 or 2 a month, or if you wanted to have a recycling program, or if you wanted to tell people about a recycling program, or if you wanted to make your own recycling program where there isn't one, maybe you're at your job and you're realizing that everybody's throwing out these bottles and you're like, wait a second, I could be saving these bottles and doing something with them. That's just a example, but stuff like that. There are things that you can do. A lot of people think that they're just one person, right? They're just one person, so they're not going to make a difference. Well, just think of it like this. One person helping one other person and telling other person about what you want to do. You just made that triangle right there. You're helping somebody, you made a difference in somebody's life who's going to be telling somebody about it and sharing their experience about it. And that could be 4 or 5 people, 10 people, who knows. Then the person or 2 people or 3 friends or a family member or something like that you actually told about your plan and this is what you want to do and maybe you're interested. Okay, so maybe 1 out of 4 are interested and then they decide to do the same thing that you're doing. And then it just grows from there. And grows is a perfect word because, the trees grow from the roots. And there's a whole thing right now with Zer0, right? Zer0 has this whole thing. He's going worldwide, basically. Not only for saving emissions, but his slogan is save soil. Save soil, because they're saying about the food shortages over the next decade and so on, and that the soil is getting less nutrients and the soil is being taken over by China and everything else. And there's a lot going on with just the soil because there's not going to be a lot of vegetation. There's not going to be a lot of plants. There's not going to be a lot of trees if the actual foundation where they come out of, the soil, is bad. So that's a beautiful thing that he's been doing. And the beautiful thing about it is that he's not just doing it one day. He's not just having a seminar on World Earth Day and just expecting everybody to get it and take it with them and start doing whatever they can do for just that one day. Earth Day every day. I saw that in a tag earlier. Hashtag Earth Day every day. Because this is how we should treat the planet. We live here. We all live here. It's one thing that we all have in common. We're all very different. Yes, we all come from a source of energy, a god, or whatever it is. We all come from that source. We all come from that same source. And, while we're here and our purpose and all that stuff, nobody really knows. But we're just here. And we're individuals and we're very different at times. We're very similar at times, but the main thing that we all came from, basically, as the Zer0 says, the soil, our actual bodies, and our bodies go back to the soil when we're no longer here, and our spirits leave us, and our souls are still with us but leave us, and everything is connected in that sense that we live on this planet. We live on this planet, so why not take care of it? You don't live in a shithole. Maybe you do. You don't live in a shithole and in your apartment or something like that, just like living in a roach infested fucking sewage running through your house, like some of these hoarder shows that I watch or something like that, with just like shit stacked up everywhere and it's just a disgusting place to live. Okay, well, that's where your dwelling is, and that's where you're living. You don't want a space like that. That's your personal space. That's your place, to heal, to recover, to relax, and take breaks from the world and this and this. You don't want to live in a situation like that. So now multiply that by 1 billion, and all these people have this home that we're inhabiting, and we should all take care of it. Now, my main thing is this. Everything that I just said, I totally makes sense to me, and I try to do my part. Like I always try to recycle. Before, I would definitely take public transportation when I had to. And that's just because I didn't have a car or if I didn't have a license. But I would be aware. I would be mindful about really what's going on and what I can do and what I can do differently. You know, if I'll use an example of a bottle. If I'm throwing out the bottle, I'm just in a rush and I throw the bottle in the garbage and I just think for a second, I'll say, wait a second, I will take that bottle and put it somewhere where there are recycling or where people are collecting bottles for whatever reason or whatever it is. Something simple like that you can do every single day. It doesn't mean like just because it's Earth Day and you plant a tree once and then you wait until Earth Day again. I mean, if you had a team, if you had enough people that were into it, you can definitely spread the word. And obviously now we live in a day and age where we can spread the word a lot quicker because we have Facebook groups and we have online and we have, everywhere else that you can actually spread news pretty quickly. You have any type of social media, that you can just get the word out there. And you have a small group over time, just like anything else, that could blossom into something beautiful. I mean, look at this podcast. When we started out with 3 subscribers and we're just thinking like, I don't know, we like doing this for fun, but let's see where it goes. A lot of people can tell that we have a passion for this. A lot of people can tell that we love doing it and that we have fun while we're doing it. And it never seems like work or anything like that. It's just having fun and talking to you guys. And little do we know that a year and some change later, we'll have 930 subscribers. Are you kidding me? Like, that makes my nipples hard, like how fucking excited I am about that. I'm extremely excited about that. And that's just one of the things. And all we're doing is the same thing that we do weekly. So it doesn't have to be Earth Day. It could just be like Earth Week. It could be Earth Day every day, like the hashtag is. And every single day, more and more people are helping out. And more people are doing their part. But what I was going to say is that the one problem and the one issue about this is that the United States definitely dug its heels into the ground when it comes to this, and definitely is all about, Green New Deal or lowering carbon emissions or our carbon footprint or vegetation or, saving soil or all these things. Definitely if you asked a certain amount of people in the United States and you actually took a tally, you took a poll or something like that, you would see that poll would be a significant number, obviously, if people do care and want to make a difference and are currently doing something. But then you have people in other countries, like China, for example, that, I mean, they have smog for a reason. They have like nonstop smog for a reason. They make Los Angeles smog look like oxygen tanks. Like you're just walking around breathing with oxygen tanks, like it's just pure 100% oxygen. And LA smog is really bad with all the shit that's going on there. New York air is really bad. New York City air is really bad. You go more to the country, more to the north, whatever like that, it's obviously different. But it's hard to get away in China. It's hard to get away from that in China. And just think that China, United States, Russia, South Africa, Europe, we're all on this globe together, ladies and gentlemen. We're all here together. So my main issue is that if we're busting our balls, and for the last 50 years or so, when it's really been a thing where people started talking about climate change and global warming and saving the planet, saving soil, and saving, food and eating more natural foods, because a lot of the foods that go through different factories and different manufacturing plants and stuff like that, they have to go through, and that uses a lot of energy, and that's really bad for the environment because of the smog and because of the exhaust and because of the chemicals and everything like that. So you can even shift how you eat. You can eat more fresh food and organic and stuff like that. But no matter what we're doing over here, if other huge countries, massive countries, are basically giving 2 shits about this and being like, I don't give a fuck about this. I don't care about global warming. I don't care about the impact of climate change that's going to have on us. We have to manufacture these things, and we're going to put this out into the atmosphere, and whatever happens, happens. So that's unfortunately what it is, and that's unfortunately how they think, basically, is how, China thinks about like that for everything, where it's just like, well, I'm going to get whatever we need to do for us and fuck everybody else.
Hooray!
You know what I'm saying? So Earth Day is always on April 22nd. Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know. All of what we're doing right now, and obviously, like I said, because it's not every country is on board, we are not yet on the path towards stabilizing the warming of our planet below dangerous levels. I guess either way would be bad, right? If it's negative 1.5 degrees in 10 years, and in 100 years is going to be 10 degrees, that's a lot. That's obviously a significant amount. I just heard today, actually, that it was 1.5 degrees higher in the last 10 years, which is kind of hard to wrap your mind around. That's a lot. Because then you just think that's going to be 15 degrees hotter in 100 years. That can make a significant difference to all life forms on this planet, right? But then, if it goes the other way, it's the same exact thing. It goes negative numbers, and it starts getting colder. I, for one, would rather it warm up because I love the warmth and I hate being cold. But that's just me being stupid. But I also heard that particular areas are also warming up faster. And I heard that New York, where this undisclosed location podcast is coming from right now, brought to you by Spotify and Gay Midget Aliens, we actually went up 3 degrees in the last 10 years. 3 degrees, so that's double the amount of the world. That's kind of crazy. All right, so with all this kind of shifting and the stuff that's going on and the uncertainty and stuff like that, I want to kind of balance this podcast and I want to talk about something else. This is how I was promoting the podcast, so this is how I'm going to talk about it. We're not going to just talk about, happy-go-lucky 422 Earth Day, Happy Friday, TGIF. No, there's something else that I wanted to talk about that has something to do with it. The best apocalypses in history. Now, you might think, wow, Patient Zero, you just completely went left with the whole show. Well, listen, I'm just saying, a lot of people, a lot of countries, a lot of places, a lot of elites, if they want to, they need to get their shit in order for this planet to even be maintainable in the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And that's just a fact, ladies and gentlemen. There is so many things going on in the world besides what I already just mentioned that is absolutely destroying the world, destroying this earth. We have these chaotic, uncontrollable weather forces that are out there that have just been continuously getting worse, it seems. Hurricanes, volcanoes, earthquakes. Well, we, man, woman, non-binary, they, we are making this worse instead of making it better, okay? For example, wars upon wars upon wars upon wars upon wars are not going to help the stability of what the earth is doing below the crust and what exactly is going on with all the streams that they have. As far as like for the earthquakes, they're all connected. All of the waves, all of the energy that is produced, all of the missiles that continuously hit the ground. They are shifting. They are making this shift happen that it's almost like human beings are trying to destroy this earth. Maybe on purpose. Maybe the elite are looking down with the strings, the puppet masters, and they're just looking around. Yep, we need another war. Yep, we need another war here. There hasn't been a war here for a little bit. We need a war here. And now on top of everything else, as far as, collapsing the financial industry and collapsing people's hope as far as just like living on this earth and being able to survive and making enough, and the illusion of not being a slave when we are all slaves and we are just in this matrix living together and trying to figure it out. There could be a reason for all this. There could be a mastermind behind all this, not God, who is looking down and just playing us like chess pieces. That is a fact. And that I've talked about on many podcasts. But the reason why I talk about it right now is because we're not in a good direction. It's not all peaches and cream. And I'm not just talking about China. I'm talking about China. I'm talking about what's going to happen with the next war, what's going to happen with this current war, who's going to get involved with the Ukraine and Russia war. You know, it's a lot of deep state interaction that a lot of people on the mainstream media, all of mainstream media, are not going to say anything about because they're programmed just like anything else, and they're owned by multi-conglomerate corporations that tell them basically what to say, because then the propaganda is out, and once the propaganda is out, it's feeded onto all news streams and TV, and that's just how mainstream media works. So however they can direct the narrative, but what I'm saying is that war might not just be something that's going to be, bad Putin. There's a lot more to that. And like General Milley said, the woke general that he is, he said that this might be going on for a while. This might be going on for years. And the elite, the top of the top, the people that really run this world, BlackRock, the bankers, Rockefeller, all those people on the World Economic Forum, Charles Schwab and all them, they're just looking down and they're just like, yes, baby, yes, more money in my pockets. It's all about money, power, and control. Literally, that's how anything on this earth, it all comes down to that. It all boils down to that. No matter what topic, basically, we could be talking about, I can somehow say something directed to that, where it comes back to that, and where the top 0.01% are looking down and just looking at these peasants, with their little masks on and stuff like that, and just playing a game with us. One day, I hope soon, there's a massive reawakening, and that whole curtain gets pulled to the side, and everything gets crumbling down, and the rest of the 99% just awakens with true, genuine love and consciousness. But until then, we have some apocalypse predictions. Didn't think I was going to bring it back, right? Every year, new apocalyptic predictions come through the dark fringes of the net and the tabloid media. And the reason why is because of everything that's what I was saying and everything that's going on. In the past couple of years, the world is predicted end in nuclear war, which still may happen. Russia just tested out the fucking that missile that was like the size of my block that I live on. Still an idea. It's still a possibility. Don't think that this is just going to be, it's going to be trendy. It's going to be trendy. I know a lot of people are thinking that anyway because they're, fucking getting Ukrainian tattoos and, Ukrainian flags. You can't hold a United States flag, though. If you hold the United States flag, then you're a racist and you get banned from everything. And you're a white supremacist, which is the most fucked up, twisted, craziest shit in the world. But that's on the podcast also. Just really pisses me off. Everybody jumps on the bandwagon and everybody's just saying like, oh, it's only going to be, whatever it is, and it's going to be this trendy thing. No, it could still cause mass damage and mass destruction, and it's already causing mass death in that area, and it doesn't mean that's not going to spread. And I'm going to say when, I don't know exactly when, maybe we're talking a month or two, maybe we're talking the summer. I don't think it's going to be even by the end of the year, but I just want to say it here first. And my prediction probably be like sometime in the summer when NATO does get involved. And then when NATO gets involved, it's going to be World War III, 100%. But the more people, that's another thing too, the more people that start talking like that, thinking about that, wondering about that, and are at the lowest vibration as far as being fearful about that, they're going to cause the vibration on this earth to stay at that low vibration. If we all think about God and our higher selves and raising our vibration and raising our energy and helping others and, not watching the news and all these things, taking care of yourself, you can definitely see that the world will go in a different direction. If it's going to be more, satanic like it is now, if it's going to be more dark and, sick and twisted and fearful and nothing but chaos and fear, that lower vibration is going to cause, the earth is going to feel that. It's not going to just be from human beings, spiritual beings living a human experience. It's not going to just be that. It's going to be that energy from each individual is going to feed into the energy as well, because the earth is a living, breathing thing as well, ladies and gentlemen. So that's one. Then we got the computer brain. Computers taking over the world and the human race. How long is it going to take? How long do you think it's going to take? I mean, AI and what they have done with AI technology over the last 20, 15, 10 years, even 5 years, they have got so much AI technology that is not out to the public, that is not going to be talked about, that is in the making. They have different prototypes and shit like that already, that they're going to say that we have this, they're going to show from Hanson Mechanics or whatever the fuck it is, from that robot that looks real, and Sophia or something like that, one of those realistic robots talking and answering like it's Alexa back and forth having a conversation. I didn't want her to answer. What they really do have is way far advanced. Way far advanced. I mean, technology that will absolutely blow your mind if the human being was even introduced to it now. People that are actually introduced to that are the elite, are like presidents, world leaders, stuff like that. But they actually, But so, to what point and when exactly does that get intertwined with human beings and AI technology really takes over? And if you guys think that I'm talking crazy, wait until the chip is actually marketed, produced, and ready to go. Because that chip, that's either going to be in the back of your head, like your back of your neck, or your right hand, just like it says on the Bible. Like exactly what it says it's going to happen in the Bible if you take that chip. That's the mark of the beast. That chip is going to almost connect your consciousness with machines and with AI. And it's almost like, will you live longer? Because even though your physical body died, your consciousness is now uploaded into AI. I just don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I just don't know. But what I do know is that's one of the apocalyptic ideas. Great fire from the sky. I guess this is more like a biblical thing as well. Nostradamus predicted many things over time. And he predicts a large meteor or asteroid will hit the Earth in 2022. Oh, wait a second. We're almost halfway through 2022. Okay, maybe it'll be an asteroid. Nostradamus and his predictions, I think he's like 90% right, 85% right, something like that. But it also depends on, because Nostradamus was like, what, in the 1400s or something like that, even way before that. I forgot when he existed, but it's kind of hard to decipher, and it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly what he's talking about, because it could just be like such a broad picture. He could be painting with such a broad brush of ideas that it's just like we're just thinking that that's going to happen. But as far as the time frame, if something major is going to happen in 2022, hey, let's just sit back and enjoy the ride. Let's just sit back and enjoy the ride. I feel like that, more important than anything, is the way that we raise our energy. We have no fear. We're connected with God. We just continuously help others, help ourselves, and say the serenity prayer. You don't even have to be in recovery. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I mean, how deep and powerful is that prayer? That is a deep, powerful prayer. And that is basically just saying that change what you can change about yourself. The things that are outside of your circle, the things that are outside of your mental capacity, physical capacity, the things that are just, drive you crazy on the mainstream media and make you flip out and make you want to worry and scream and have all this fear and stuff like that. If you can't do anything about it, worry about what you can do. Super volcano eruption is another one, ladies and gentlemen. Super volcano eruption. That sounds like fun. I'm not sure exactly where that is, but, a lot of things can happen. There's a lot of talks of a lot of earthquakes and natural disasters coming this summer. That's another thing, too. So this year is going to be jam-packed with things between, the war and natural disasters. That alone, that'll keep us occupied from our day-to-day. But we just have to, keep going on. One day at a time, 1 hour at a time. Make sure you prepare for what's to come. And even though you don't know what's to come, and this is all predicting shit, like what I'm saying about what's going to happen in the summer, natural disasters, how is the war going to escalate? Is Nostradamus right? Is it going to come from the sky? Is the biblical times right? It's going to come from the sky. It's going to come from the water. Whatever it is, there's a huge shift happening. And I feel like this is the time where it's almost like each polar axis is going to flip. And I don't mean that maybe literally, like in space, Earth will flip and the North Pole will be the South Pole and the South Pole will be the North Pole, because I feel like that will cause obviously it will cause like severe problems with the rotation and the seasons and the climate change and everything else. Natural disasters will go crazy. I'm just talking about a polar shift as far as like the energy of people starting to be awake about what's going on, the energy of how people can formulate what they want in life, and they can speak it into existence, and they can use the law of attraction. I think a lot of people are more spiritual than ever before. I think a lot of people are raising up. It's like good versus evil, and the evil is everything that we're seeing. The elite, mainstream media, the propaganda, the corruption in government, it just goes on and on and on. So when these things happen, you think like, is there something else behind it? There might be. When the natural disasters, there might be. But regardless of what it is, prepare yourself for anything, really. My favorite saying is, if you stay ready, you never got to get ready. If you stay ready, you never got to get ready. So just stay ready. Now, obviously, I don't want to leave you with fear or anything either, and hopefully I didn't, but there's a lot of things from Y2K in the year 2000, right? All the computers are going to reset, and it's going to cause absolute mayhem across the world. Financial systems are going to collapse. The stock market's going to crash, everything like that. Nothing happened. Mayan calendar. A lot of people say, well, yeah, nothing happened. It wasn't the end of the world. Yeah, but you have to think now, December 21st of 2012, that was definitely the time where the Mayans predicted it was going to be the end of the world as we know it. The end of the world as we know it. And then as we know it part is very important, because this is when the new age spirituality comes into play. This is when everybody is starting to be more curious about what's out there, starting to be more curious about pulling that fucking curtain back and really seeing what this world is about. And slowly but surely, for the last 10 years from that point, it has definitely been exactly that. There's still tons of people that are asleep. There's still tons of people that have no idea what's going on and will just follow that authority because they have no connection with God, really. So they'll just follow the government, the authority figures, whatever it is, and they'll just say, if they ask you to jump and you just say how high, type of relationship and type of connection, because you can't think for your own. You have no thought process of your own. You never think out of the box. You never ask questions. You just go along with what everybody is telling you to do. To me, that sounds like communism to me. But I just want, I'm hoping that everybody wakes up. I'm hoping that everybody has their own waking up experience. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. Maybe some people it does. It definitely doesn't happen with me overnight. It took a couple years, you know, gradually when I took that red pill. And I thank my friends so much in 2015 for getting me involved in that and seeing what I needed to see and for taking me where I am now. But I could just, you know, pray for everybody, hope for the best. And regardless of what it is, I'm not here to judge and I'm not here to question. You are on this earth for whatever reason, and I'm on this earth for whatever reason. And what I'm going to do in the meanwhile is I'm going to speak my shit and I'm going to talk my shit and I'm going to do what I can do. Just like we were talking about Earth Day. What can one person do? Well, I know what one person can do. This one person here, Patient Zero, has a microphone right in front of him, and you never know who I'm going to reach. So if you're listening right now and this actually resonated with you, then guess what? Shouts to you. I love you. Spread the love. Ladies and gentlemen, spread the love.
Brilliant!
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's all we got to do, you know? Spread the love. That's what it's about. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the show for tonight. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. And, yeah, I told you it was going to be a crazy one. I told you it was going to be a good one. I told you it was going to be something that you really have to pay attention. You might have to come back and listen to it twice for the second time. You know what I mean? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mixture of Variety Entertainment. Move, baby. Move. MOVE. Mixture of Variety Entertainment. Don't forget to search for us on YouTube, Mixture of Variety. Check out all of our shows. It's a variety. We don't just talk about one thing. We talk about a whole bunch of different things. And, of course, check us out on IG. Our Instagram is at Mixture of Variety. That's very easy. Our Instagram is at Mixture of Variety. Please follow us there. Our Twitter is at The Future of Pods. At The Future of Pods. P-O-D-S. Pods. Okay? The Future of Pods, because we are the future of podcasts. Once again, big shouts to Nikki P. Once again, big shouts to all the subscribers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And I hope everybody has a great weekend. Make sure to stay tuned next week. We got a special guest, and it's going to be a blast. Don't forget. And other than that, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a great weekend. And I'll see you next time. Deuces!
This just in from Patient Zero.
It's the science fiction in me because I love science fiction movies, and this is something out of a movie. I mean, when you watch his videos, you can't help but to feel like you're there with him. You're alone